In this video, we're going to look at Nvidia here on the daily chart. Now, what's a few things that stick out to us? Well, we have a big gap down here from the 142 area all the way down here to about 129, 130. So we have to keep that in the back of our mind, especially as we move closer to our February 26th earnings to figure out how much the expected move is contracting, expanding, so we can get an idea if we're going to be able to fill this or not. What's the second thing we're looking at? Well, it looks like we found some footing down here around the 115s. We thought that maybe this 200 SMA was going to hold, but really it didn't. And it was just this 115 area that kind of said, hey, let's stop the bleeding where we're at. Let's consolidate a little bit down here. So in doing so, we actually created a new trend line because of that footing. So now we have this lower trend line here. You can see there's a channel now. We have this upper trend line decreasing, lower trend line decreasing. So now I have to see if we do stay above this 115 or if we break below it and start respecting this trend line. Above average volume in here, obviously off that big gap down. So we got some good volatility, some good juice in everything in here. So we can kind of do whatever we want. Next thing to look at, it's going to be this 9-day EMA and this 200 SMA. See how tight this is starting to squeeze right here? We want to see either an expansion away from this 9-day EMA running away from this 200 SMA, giving us, hey, that's going to be a bullish. We're going to run into this upper trend line here. Or if we see this 200 cross over that 9-day EMA, then it's going to tell us, hey, start to get long puts. And then we're going to see if we respect this trend line. If we do not, then we're going to have to look at our other supports. It's good to note in here that really nice whole numbers don't really mean anything to Nvidia besides the 115, right? And it's really 116. Let's just call it in between 115, 116, because don't really care about 120. They care more about 121. Doesn't care about 130. They care more about 131, 103, 97. It's those numbers in there, the nice whole ones. That for some reason Nvidia does not really respect them at all, although they do kind of overshoot them just a little bit and stay right around that. So you're off by a couple dollars on each of those. Just keep that in the back of your mind. So resistance wise, what's the first thing we're going to look at? Well, it's going to be up here at that 131 mark if we can stay above this 9-day EMA. Support wise, we mentioned this 200 SMA, but really it's going to be this 115, 116 area in here. We're going to see if that still stays as our footing. If not, then it's going to be the lower trend line, 110s, 109s, and then really 103 is going to be your main support in here if we break down lower. Options chain wise, we said there's a lot of IV in here. You do have IV rank of 54. You got around a $5 expected move by this Friday. So you got a couple trading sessions to make a $5 move in here. So if you have the 130 calls, that's good. If you have the 120 puts, that's also good because you're inside the expected move. We also have a $9.90 expected move by the February monthlies. We have earnings February 26th, and we have around a $20 expected move by March. So again, just to reiterate in here, keep in the back of your mind, we got a gap up here to 142. Watch for a crossover of this 200 SMA over the 9-day EMA, and then watch the 115, 116 footing, as well as that 131 area of resistance. All right, guys, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. And we also have a Discord service if you are interested. You can find all of our socials in the description below.